Entering the fundraising arena requires a specific mindset. It's not just about having your facts straight, it's about understanding the psychological dynamics at play between you and the VC. They are looking for a promising investment that aligns with their mandate and offers substantial returns, meaning over 10x for early stage VCs and around 3 to 5x for late stage funds. And you're aiming to secure the right amount of capital with minimum dilution from the best VCs. The key here is creating FOMO, fear of missing out. You want to create the impression that all the top dogs are investing in your business and the VC would be stupid if they didn't invest. Creating FOMO will help you generate a competitive environment, which gives you leverage to choose your partner and negotiate the best terms. Always keep in mind, fundraising is more psychology than logic. Think of storytelling here like choosing the right picture for a Tinder bio. You want to make sure it helps you stand out, emphasizes your strengths, and helps attract the right partner. But you shouldn't lie. People will find out. So if you're short and overweight, don't put a picture of Tom Brady in your bio. That's the same principle with storytelling and VCs. The business is the business and you need to work with what you got. But similar to a good picture, storytelling can help you look better. Your first tool is the elevator pitch. This is your 2-minute golden window to spark interest in your business. You typically use this to describe your company during initial conversations when you don't really have much time. For example, at networking events. Investors meet hundreds of founders each year, so a strong first impression is critical. I actually recommend founders having 2 elevator pitches, one more sexy and visionary and another one more investor speak, depending on the type of investor and situation. For example, if you're a payments company in Mexico, your visionary pitch could be, we are democratizing financial services for Mexican merchants, making accepting card payments inclusive and accessible. And for the investor speak version, make it more punchy so they get it. We're building Square, but for Mexico. Now let's talk about the actual pitch. Let's start with a surprise. You don't need to use the pitch deck for the intro call with the investor necessarily. There are pros and cons. You may ask, why the heck did we spend all this time crafting it and getting this perfect pitch deck if we don't use it for the actual pitch? Isn't that why it's called pitch deck? The reason is it changes the dynamic. You want a conversation, not a presentation. This approach creates a more balanced power relationship. However, sending over the deck in advance will allow the VC to come better prepared, especially if your business is hard to understand. As a rule of thumb, send the deck if you've already gotten to know the VC and have engaged with them socially. If you don't send the deck before the call, the VCs will normally ask to receive it afterwards in any case. Now, when you're in action, be human, be memorable. Share your story as a founder, not just as a company. Discuss your background, how you met your co-founder, and what led you to start the business. Investors resonate with founders who are following their life's calling and not just who want to make some quick money. Important, communicate it in a manner that is logical and makes sense. You should leave the VC thinking, of course he's building a prop tech in Brazil. He's Brazilian who worked in real estate and was coding as a teenager. VCs need to think that there's nobody better positioned than you to solve the problem. But don't worry, if you have some sort of exotic background or it doesn't look clear at the first glance, just try to package it into a nice story that it makes sense and that puts you in a good position. Keep your language clear and relatable. Use simple examples so it sticks. Say you have a corporate card company serving startups. Use tangible analogies like we are American Express, but for startups. It's okay to use sexy headlines like we're creating an AI-powered spend management platform to capture attention, but don't leave it vague and make sure you're able to explain it in simple terms later on. Ultimately, VCs won't invest in something they don't understand, so make sure to leave them with a very clear impression. Also, connect on an emotional level and make it relatable. If you're solving a problem for the elderly, for example, don't address the VC, but rather their grandparents and show how it could improve their lives. Now, here's a crucial tip. Don't outright say you're raising a round. As a startup founder, you're always raising and you're never raising. This is because you want to maximize FOMO to improve your position. Say you're telling investors you're raising a round and it ends up taking longer than you envisioned and you don't have a lead investor yet. Investors will think your business is uninteresting as you didn't close the round yet and will completely lose interest. So a good way to communicate it is along the lines of, we are always open to connecting with people who share our enthusiasm. While we're not actively raising, several funds have approached us. We would clearly know what to do with additional capital to accelerate our growth further, but we don't want to rush things. We want to get to know potential partners early to see who could be the right fit in the future. This response is great because it shows multiple elements that make you more attractive for VCs. First, you have a long-term mindset. Second, you are not desperate. Third, you are in demand. And fourth, you have clear uses for new capital. Now here comes the exception. The only time when you can say you're raising is when you have such a hot business or are a successful serial entrepreneur that you know you get around together. Then you can even say the golden phrase, we have a lot of demand, so let me see if I could give you an allocation. See how Elon did it for his Twitter buyout. Be worried though, if you're saying you're raising a round and don't get around together, you are shooting yourself in the foot. Let's start with the looks. Dress in a way that's natural yet professional. Black t-shirt, jeans and sneakers is always a safe choice for tech founders. For virtual calls, ensure you have a professional setup with a clean background and good audio and video quality. No external calls from public cafes, please. Next comes the shoulder trick. It sounds basic, but it is such a game changer. In calls with investors, where your co-founders are participating, use subtle, non-verbal cues for a smooth communication. A gentle touch on the shoulder can signal to your co-founder that you want to speak, enhancing coordination between yourselves without anyone else noticing. Make sure to align with your co-founders beforehand what your secret body language is. Trust me, you will look incredibly in sync. Side note, when you have multiple people on the call, say you and your co-founder, I recommend dialing in from 2 different rooms to have no echo for the audio, and also keep your WhatsApp open. That way you can exchange messages to coordinate during the call if needed. Lastly, always be on time and please don't overrun meetings. First, you want to show respect to the VC. Remember, you don't get many shots. And second, exceeding beyond the agreed time signals you have nothing else to do and makes you look needy. If you need more time, politely ask the VC 5 minutes before the end of the call, do you have a hard stop? Seems like there are still some points to discuss and I want to be mindful of your time. This sounds professional and not needy. Communication is key. Show enthusiasm, confidence and professionalism. Dominate your numbers. Don't say, last year we grew around 20%, say 19%. Investors love it. Make sure to avoid filler words like So instead of saying, let's move on to the next topic, financials, you should say, let's move on to the next topic, financials. This pause signals more confidence. Have your own style, but adapt it slightly to the person you're speaking with. If you're shy and the VC is high energy, tone it up a bit. If you're very expressive and face an introverted numbers guy, don't ask if he likes to go to Mykonos for partying in the summer, but rather what book he's reading. Next, you want to get labeled. What do I mean by that? As VCs see so many founders, you want to be remembered and basically create a persona. For me, for example, I drew many analogies from my experience being a competitive tennis player. For instance, it's very important for me to have the best investors in my business that can provide not only capital, but guidance. I've seen firsthand how valuable it is to have a great coach during my tennis career. It's a game changer. This way, the investors will remember me not only as the founder of VALOREO, but also as a tennis player. This makes it stick. Understand VC lingo. It's an own language. For instance, VCs rarely give a hard no. They will say things like, we'd like to see more traction, or let us know when you have a lead investor. Understand what particular phrases mean to better guide your fundraising efforts. During the pitch, be prepared to answer common VC questions about your market, competitors and business model, and always have your data at your fingertips. Pay close attention to the VC's comments. It will guide you how to approach the next steps. And don't forget to ask questions. It shows you're serious about finding the right partner. Make sure to ask about the investment mandate, such as what their sweet spot ticket size is, how quickly they can move, how their IC process looks like, and most importantly, if they can lead a round. This will help you to also understand how likely they are to invest in your business. You don't want to waste much time with VCs that cannot lead the round. First, you need to lock in the lead investor, and then you can collect additional commitments. Also, ask them their perspective on the business model and why this excites them. This way you anchor them psychologically to associate your business with something positive. Lastly, ask how they would approach certain challenges you may be facing, like international expansion, hiring strong tech talent, or similar. This allows you to see how the VC is thinking about these, which can actually give you new, valuable insights for your business. And you start solving problems together. It will make the VC feel as if they're already part of your business and create more attachment. Plus, you can get a glimpse on how it could be to work together with that VC in the future, and if you like it. Remember that fundraising is both an art and a science. You're dealing with other people. Hence, it's important to understand human psychology and how to communicate effectively. When preparing your pitch, understand it isn't just for investors, it's for potential hires and partners too. So make sure to practice. And keep in mind, amateurs practice until they get it right. Pros practice until they can't get it wrong. You want to raise millions of dollars, so you've got to put in the work to become a pro. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. If you found this valuable, please share it with others that may benefit from it. Make sure to like and subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you soon in LATAM.